Hello and welcome to Geekatplay tutorial. In this tutorial we'll look how to create realistic island from the pictures, and this is not very unique techniques. It's very common, but it's take a lot of work to create properly looking, and this probably will be several tutorials, several episodes tutorial. So we'll beginning by first opening our editor program, Photoshop or any other using, and here I have different images, and let's look on them. This is images from what we're going to work. So this is our island, and you can notice right here. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit. So we have some kind of pillar, how the altitude going. Okay, also we have a nice for coloring map, so we can use this one. Okay, we also have it image with approximately sizes, so we'll see how it's going. Okay, and more images with the top view, kind of overview what's going on there. And another one, it is with the side on the rocks, so we can see how the rocks going. And this is probably the hardest parts, will be to simulate these rocks, because you can see how they not just going straight, they kind of embedding here. Okay. So one thing, if you have an altitude map, it will help a lot. It will save you a lot of time. But we'll look right now. So if we don't have the altitude map, what we're going to do, how we'll go to create our own altitude map so we can create terrain. And let's begin by creating a new layer right here, and we'll go to pen tool and we'll select freedom pen. And what right now first I'm going to do, I'm going to just outline our island, and when I'm going to outline, I will outline right here on the side, because you can see kind of sand underwater. So let's just like this around. Don't worry too much about altitude. As I said before, we just try to so kind of we'll go map it and see what we have right here. Redline these guys. Also right here, if you want, you can just go not that close. I just want to be a little bit sharp on this side. So we have right here. Down. There you go. So let's right now zoom out. Our island, we have a new layer. We go to path, we click on our path. So this is what we selected before, and we're going to, let's select black and fill it. So here we have our outline, our island kind of outline overall shape. Now what we're going to do, it is, let's go right here and we'll create our color map. So we'll have a pen, and this is a little bit easy because you can check. This is our green, kind of like top layer. This is more as a texture mapping. So we'll go our path, select the path, let's on this layer and fill up. So this is our one. Let's create new layer. Let's go to now have our sand. Here's our one sand. Okay, here's our some sand little bit right here. Okay, let's go path, select, let's go to layers and fill up. So this is kind of job you need to do over and over again, and the more you spend time on details, the better will be effect. And you know what, let's go with our this green kind of. So we had our it's probably like seaweed or something else growing right here. So we have that one, and let's select some right here. Okay, so we select there a little bit, maybe right here. So this will be our coloring kind of. Like this. Well, so let's select our path and fill it. Okay, so here's we have it. One thing what we need to do also right now, it's work kind of on altitude. So this is our high and this will be our low. Let's create one more layer, and even let's look closer to this, but I want to create a little bit more precise altitude layer. You need to understand also, without properly geo altitude map, we can just simulate how it may look. So it won't look exactly, it's gonna be look very close, but it won't look exactly as if you go on a satellite and you take from there, from satellite, if you take the picture. Okay, so we have it, our altitude map. Let's go to path, select, and let's fill it. The one thing before we fill this, I noticed the island is actually where's our island? You see how that shape going? It's going like this shape. So what we probably want to do is go to garden tool and fill up this way. So a little bit more kind of with the edge going this way. This is one layer, and at this point what we can do, we can actually disable, turn it off and turn on some other layers, so we kind of can preview how the layers will go. Like this one, create new. Now I'm trying to match overall altitude. I think this is look kind of closer. Now let's go take brush. We'll increase brush size. Okay. Just add a little bit. So we have that one, and let's, you know what, let's go right here and blur this one out. Blur. So here we have our kind of look like altitude map, so we can use it. Because this one we will invert, so we'll have it. We need higher here, so we'll go to and we'll go to invert. Here's with alpha our image. Create new layer. And just invert one more time. Okay. I noticed they have a little bit sharper right here on the edges. Also, this is a little bit low resolution, so if you create map, it's probably better if you create 1024 by 1024. Okay. So let's right now at this point, let's go ahead and save our images. So we'll probably won't use it. We can kind of integrate it together to make it look a little bit more sharper. And let's see what we have it. We can make a little bit darker, so we a bit multiply. So we can have it. A bit softer right here on the edges, and this you can spend a lot of time to do properly. Again, here is we'll look some of the techniques how you can create height map. So let's go file, save for devices, and we'll save JPEG maximum. Let's save it, and what we save in directory images. Create special for that. Okay, let's disable this one, and this is for the material mapping. Don't worry if they don't match very well. because when we start we will have it smooth kind of bending. So save it, and we'll save this one as a top green. Okay, so I think we're kind of done here. We can also bring in after. Let's take Photoshop, just move it away for now, and we can bring these images in after reference, see how it's looking. Okay, so let's create our terrain, and we'll just create new terrain. And if you remember, we have it numbers there, and you can actually set precisely up to numbers, but I'll just create a approximate looking size. Take our camera, move it a little bit above. Let's look down. Okay, we have it rendered to screen 640. So here's what we have it at this point. This is our normal terrain. Right click, edit object, and in this terrain what we're going to do, click on a picture, load. Okay, and let's load our map. We want to invert. So here's our map. The one thing we can also, if you want, have it a little bit more look like this, so it's what we created, or we can kind of merge with whatever there and cause it, because we don't have our own altitude map. We can, all what we can do is look like creating, and I think this is look actually very interesting. Maybe like this. Let's click OK. Here's our island. Let's cut off a little bit right here on the bottom. Click OK. And one thing, let's make it not that tall. Drop to the ground and bring our camera. So here we have it kind of looking like our island. Here is a little bit too sharp maybe on the edges. So we can try to merge a little bit bare them, and doing this we can go back again to our Photoshop. Okay, let's see, where's our image. This one image, we can go to top to this one, and on these edges right here, let's we can use blend tool, or we can just zoom out, going to lasso, and maybe select which area you want kind of be smooth, because I know some areas is smooth. Okay, we'll go select, now modify feathers, let's select by 25, filter, blur, in blur. So we'll have it maybe like this. Okay, so we have it a little bit nicer and smoother transition right here. It's not that hard. Okay, until we here, let's smooth our other ones. So let's smooth right here a bit more on the edges, so we have a little bit nicer transition. Again, we don't need all right here. I like when it's well sharp. Okay, right here probably we don't want it. Also, what we can do, let's just turn this off, and we actually can make even less on the height, so we can do a bit like this. Okay, let's save this one, and we'll just override our map, replace it. Let's go to our, and let's load it again. Edit object, go to pictures, load, and we'll load map. And nice things, they will kind of going overlay. So we can go all the way to the pictures again, or try to merge them together. Here's our island. So we have it right here, a little bit too high on this area. Oops, it's running away. So let's go to paint, dig. Let's maybe, and manually decreasing. Okay, click OK. Let's see again. So it's dropped back on the floor. And here is our island. And it's look actually semi-similar what we have it. So I think we, for now, let's done with the shape. And let's work right, apply to the materials and creating textures. Okay, let's now go to our second part. In this part we will modify island outline and we'll assign some materials layout. Okay, so here's our terrain, and let's open our first material and we'll click to mixed materials. Okay, and what we're going to do is modifying distribution. We can do this through the layers, but with mixed materials we'll have it a little bit better control over what areas they will apply. So we'll go and we'll add image, and let's load it our image. Okay, so let's select with top green. We'll click OK. Click OK again. Let's select a couple colors. And what we want to do, we want to go to object parametric, and on this case preview screen. Okay, you can see how the top green already applied here. So now we need to go to our this material. Okay, let's add this name top green. Okay, let's go to our next material and we'll create another mix from this one. Be sure we uncheck that so we can preview the coloring, because if we click this one, its color will be all over. Okay, we select this material, and let's go right now to distribution and we'll add another distribution. Edit function, again we'll add image, load our images, and let's go to maybe the sand. Click OK. Okay, we'll go to object parametric. So we'll see where we apply sand. Now we need to go down to this one. Again, the same mix materials. We'll uncheck that one, select here. Let's actually check this to the yellow color so we can preview. Okay, and let's go to our distribution, edit function, edit image. To the green now. Okay, object parametric again. So now you can see where we have it. Shapes already kind of predefined. You can see how this distribution work on this case. Yeah, let's go rename it, and this one will be sand. Mix 1, mix 2. Okay. Actually, no, this is our green 1, 2. Okay, let's go edit. I just don't remember, so I want to see again what we preloaded. Okay. This is our dark green one. So that's our yellow. Rocks, and that one is sand. Okay, so we kind of define, and it's nice to name because kind of start forgetting which one is what. And now when we assign, what I want to do it is bring picture of the island from the top. So let's go bring right here, shrink a little bit so we can see it. And here we have it, our sandbanks go right there around. Okay, we have it more greenish kind of color. It is yellow, will be our greenish stuff going around. Top is this one, and bluish, it's kind of going right overall. But again, blue color, dark blue, if you remember, it's overall. So we kind of need to add sandish, and this is sand. So green one is sand. Let's right now add more, work more on define. See, like right here is lower, and we don't have it lower here. So and that's why we was coloring, so we can easy to see more define, more work on our terrain. Again, we're doing this one in a fast mode. I recommend you to do this, spend time and do more detail. So let's also increase resolution 1024 by 1024. Okay. Let's disable actually our brush. I don't want to use a brush for this one. We'll make smaller size, decrease softness, and there you go. So we're kind of a little bit decreasing right here, and you can see how they already will be affecting. So what we're doing right here, we're redefining, making like more fit the altitude depend on how we're going. So because we can actually decrease softness, a bit harder edges going around here. And if you want it, we can load it special brush. But I think with the rocks that will go apply, this will work just fine for us. So let's look on the side. We'll make a lower here. One thing, if you're afraid to go too low, what we can do, you can click altitude. Okay, we can take altitude, says, hey, I want no less than this one. And from this point, if we're going down, we won't go too low, so we don't cut our grounds. There you go. We added our island. Again, spend a little bit more time, make it look a little bit nicer. This is what I'm providing. It's a concept in a way we can do. And to create perfect terrain, you need to spend maybe about 2-3 hours just to go over, zoom in. Again, zoom in, you press Control and you drag in and out, so you can zoom in closer and work maybe even better, you know, on applying. And if you do have altitude map, it will help a lot. It will save all this time that you need kind of matching. Okay, let's press OK. And here is our alignment. So at this point we want to save our rendering. Well, we want to save our stuff, and let's work on the rocks, on materials to create it. Okay, so we saved our stuff, and let's one thing what I recommend for now, let's close it, this one. We'll have a new one, and let's go to some preset for the materials. Okay. The one thing, again, let's go check the rocks what we have. So we have this kind of white grayish rock and some green grass. So what we need to create actually several materials. One, it's a green on the bottom, which will apply this one, water, gray, brownish rocks, and green grass. So let's begin with the grass, and let's do terrain. So we kind of can preview how the terrain will look. Camera move a little bit about this one. Okay, and let's open our material. We'll begin by changing color map. The one, if you remember, it was kind of green, and this is and this is in a way how our grass you can do it with 2 points. I just like to create a little bit more points, so it will give it a little bit nicer, maybe like a darker brown kind of. Okay, this is an approximate color. You also can take color sampling from Photoshop to apply these colors. Now we'll go edit function, and instead our constant noise, we'll just add a fractal. Okay, go down and increase roughness and gain. So we'll give it us, if you look on the colors, it's like more spotting kind of around spots. Okay, and right now let's go to our bumps. We'll create same map. So you already can see they kind of apply because reddish here, and let's add right here combiner. So this is blender. We'll go to combiner, modify. Okay, let's add noise, and we'll just go down a little bit on the noise, and we'll connect. So in this case, just increase altitude on this one, and a bit higher. This one I'll probably just drop all the way down, so we have a little bit more kind of looking noisy right at this point. The one thing, if you don't like it, if it's too rough, we can add another noise filter. And in a filter, what we're going to do,
Hey, Daddy.
just decrease. So we'll create the, this will be for our textures. Okay, let's click OK. Also in the highlights, let's increase a little bit highlights, make a little bit whitish kind of looking, and maybe go more dual color looking. Okay, effect also diffuse and ambience a little bit down, and let's overall on our bumps. And what I want to do, I want to actually drop about 150, and maybe highlights a little bit too much of highlighting. There you go. Okay, here is our, we'll call this ground, base ground. Okay, and let's save it. Okay, so we'll save this as base ground. Okay, again, if you want it, we can preview, and we'll apply the mapping a little bit later and maybe tweaking a little bit more. This is for the base kind of overall look on this. Okay, let's go right now work on our rocks. So we'll delete this, we'll create a rock. Okay, we open materials for the rock, and you know, just to beginning, we can actually reuse what they have it, but let's just select blank one. Can we go to alpha, edit materials, we'll add this one, kind of grayish looking, dark brown, going to the black, and another gray, lighter gray, and on this one so we have it mix edit function. Again, right here, let's add noise. Okay, and on the bumps we'll add actual noise. This with fractal, and we add noise, and in noise we'll go down and we'll select in variable, and we'll click on rig it. So we'll give it us, you can see a bit interesting kind of edgy look. We can little bit skew maybe on a Y, so it will have it a little bit this way. Maybe drop even scale lower. Nice. Let's add another node. We'll just combine two R's so we can preview them. It's look already interesting. Okay. Let's also take our highlights. We'll just combine to this one. Click OK. Highlights we can little bit increase. Go to a grayish color. Right here. Our bumps, make them also a little bit smaller. Okay, we can have this object standard. Transparency, this one, reflection, translucency, effects. So let's make it a little bit more absorb of the light. Okay, and let's call this rock. Iceland rock. Okay, and let's save it. Okay, this is a not very complex, this is a simple rocks, and you can go more complex, but overall this is how we will create terrain, and you pre-created your materials, your rocks. So let's right now load it back our terrain, and we'll just apply materials, and we'll may modify or create new depending if we need it. We'll go we're back now, and we open our part where we stopped before we're creating materials. So let's open our materials, and we'll go to our top green. And one thing what I want to do here, it is loading, and we'll just load it landscape. When we did it before, it is base ground. Click OK. And one thing I want to do on this base ground, I want to actually modify a couple things. We'll go to edit color, and let's right here add white. We'll add gray. So I had kind of almost like spiky looking. Okay, and we'll go to edit function. I want to just also add rocks to that. So we'll go to our function, edit, and you can preview, just add a bit more rocks showing here. And let's go right here. So here's our kind of bumps we'll be looking. You know what, let's put this one to the blender as well. Okay, way out here. Yeah, but it's quality. So we can see our rocks. Alright, so let's go bumps. So a bit better. Let's go to object parametric and let's decrease. So it will be much lower. You can see with kind of rocks and everything. One thing we want to do it is decrease size as much as possible, so we can also go on world standard, and from that point we can actually decrease and make smaller, but the mapping is also will be destroyed as well, so you almost need assign to object parametric to keep it properly. Okay, so let's go 1 here. Preview this way, and also on highlights let's turn it down all the way. Effects, decreasing. So this is how we applied this material. Again, because this is from way above, we can go to main camera, bring it down, and this is one of the hardest parts to do. It is that scenery that you can actually zoom in very close to look, so it will look very nice from above and from close up. So if you look here, is a little bit more interesting when we come very close to that. And so the rocks almost like peeking around, and what we can do at that point, you can go right here, click add system, add rocks, populate. Okay, the one thing what I need to let you know that when we change it, it's a reset our base, so we probably almost want to go back and reset again. And on the rocks, let's just decrease density and increase scale. And also one thing I want to do right here below surface, so I want just actually drop rocks even more down. So what happened, we have a few rocks, you can see right here, they're kind of sticking out. Okay. Okay. Also we can go in the rocks and change material. You know, I pre-create some rocks so we can actually look on rocks which are pre-made it. Okay. And here's our render with the rocks. We may want to actually go back and let's increase the base a little bit better. Okay. One thing also, we can create another ecosystem so we don't mess up with our rocks. And let's add plant dry weed. So we're populating and it doesn't look so we'll put it up. reduce scaling. This will increase a lot of timing. So we can go right there. So here is our base for our rocks. Go right there, and you know what? Let's do a couple things. Let's increase density more. Okay, we'll reduce scaling here. Also, density, I don't like how they're looking, so we can go to variable, edit function, and we'll just add noise. Click OK, so its distribution will be a bit better, and maybe increase this one. Let's go to the bumps. Okay, I forgot to populate it, so let's go cancel this one. Okay, let's go to populate it. Here we have a little bit patches kind of applying. This is our top of island, and by doing this we apply it at top island. Let's take our main camera, move out, and here's how we look from above. So with patch for rocks going right here. So at this point now we need to start blending inside our other layers, and let's doing by creating our green rocks. So the scope, top ground. Let's go to our mix. So our sand, actually this is my English, so I'll just say sand. Okay. And dark green. Okay, here's the rocks. Here's our dark green. Oops. It's a sideways going, and here's the rock. Let's go to rock. Let's replace our rock, and again we'll just see we have our island rock. Another, so we'll just select rock I pre-created before. Make it smaller. Okay. Let's go to highlights, decrease highlights. They don't look very good highlights when you do other things. So also we increase our blending on all of them, because we don't want kind of stand them out. Okay, our sand, let's apply to the sand, and we can actually maybe select something already pre-exist. Well, let's go to normal, this one. Okay, they don't have maps here, so let's create our own map, and I want a little bit darker actually. Sand. A little bit blackish kind of sand. Okay, edit function, creating the noise, using almost all the way down. This will be our colors. In the bumps we have the noise, and as noise we'll select granite. We'll go all the way down. Also, let's click on this node, head, and we'll just go right here. Okay, click OK. Okay, so we add noise. Let's go to the bumps, and we'll reduce. So it will be a bit smaller. Highlights, probably set to nothing. And one thing I want to do, it's decreasing, so it will be a little bit darker. Okay. We can preview sand right here on the costs. Okay, so we'll done this one and a dark green. Let's see. So what we're going to do, let's go to our rocks. And we'll just select most rocks, click OK, and we'll just reuse this one for now. Okay, so let's go to island.